1 in 5 children in Basingstoke are living in poverty. The Children's Society has found that over 18% of children are living in households with an income of 60% or less of the median income. The research shows there's 26,000 children living in Basingstoke, and 5,000 of them are living in these conditions. When we see our children's centres closed, when we see services cut, when we see our county council cutting 21 million, and then a further 30 million, a combined over £50 million cut from children's services, then the impact on children in our borough is severe. It already has been. And when this council cannot find a penny to support our children's centres, but instead, in the face of all the national evidence and government praising the difference the children's centres make, talks them down and thinks the big society model can fill the vacuum, then I despair.
But no matter, the Tories have publicly told residents, you take the development, you get the cash. But that trade-off changes tonight, Madam Mayor. Instead of receiving that 1/5 of new homes bonus over the next 2 years, they won't receive 15%, they won't receive 10%, they won't get 5%, they won't even get 1%, Madam Mayor. They receive nothing. So from tonight onwards, the Tory message to those residents who have recently accepted or are in the process of accepting development changes to, you take the housing, we'll keep the money. Yet another U-turn from this administration. Yet another kick in the teeth for communities and residents that believed you. Yet another broken promise. And this scheme does some fantastic work in our communities. So far, it's provided funding for a new centre manager for the Britvale Community Hall, improvements to the Wessex Christian Fellowship Church, the Tadley Youth Wing project, the Rooksdown Skate Park, the Laverstoke and Free Float Playground, Testbourne School's artificial sports pitch, and much, much more. The estimated loss of the lift pot over the next 2 financial years, Madam Mayor, will be just under £700,000. That could have paid for 2 extensions for community halls, like the Bermuda Centre, and it would still have enough change to build a few new playgrounds.
Today, Madam Mayor, in 21st century Basingstoke, we see unscrupulous landlords exploiting tenants. We see poor housing standards that go unchallenged, and we see people living in boxes, microflats. We also have seen street homelessness increase by 25%. We see child poverty rising across Basingstoke, 20% of children living in poverty, and that rises in some wards to 37%. We also see malnutrition and hunger, with 3,000 people last year accessing the 3-day emergency food supplies at the food bank, an increase on last year. We see premature death, with life expectancy in one ward is 7 years less than just across the road in another ward. We see poor sanitation, with our councils considering alternate weekly collections, where fly tipping reports are increasing. Bins that are not going to be collected for 2 weeks.
This all leads to impacts on our communities. I mean, last summer and into the autumn, we had some terrible youth-related antisocial problems. Couldn't get hold of a policeman. All the police, there have been 1,000 police cut. All right, the CSPOs did a terrific job, but they can't do a policeman's job. They can only go do so much. So it's not even, so the squalor extends to people not being able to walk the streets safely at night, and their properties being vandalised. But the real issue facing Basingstoke, what I say there is public squalor, is housing and homelessness. But there's nothing in this budget that addresses housing to promote affordable housing. It's all just sticking plaster stuff. All right, we're doing good stuff on homeless and picking up people, you know, in shelters and stuff. That's all good and a good thing to do. However, our estates are still being run down, destroyed, really, by buy-to-let. It's too, buy-to-let. It's
You
the
have
most
1 minute.
outrageous thing, actually, the most outrageous development over the last 10 years or 15 years is the land. You'll be able to buy up ex-council houses, what used to have subsidised and controlled rents, of real affordable rents, are now let back to the community at outrageous £1,000 a month rents. And then you punish the people with the benefits cap because the housing benefit's too high. Housing benefit is a benefit for landlords, not for the people.